Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for November. The month begins with the Sun combining with Mercury. The Sun's the innate energy that drives our universe, so it's vitally important to us. And in this part of your horoscope, it's all to do with life's foundations, to do with where you feel comfortable, family relationships, and also your relationship with yourself. In the conjunction with Mercury, Mercury's not quite so happy in this location, so it is going to be important not to jump to conclusions and just watch a tendency to be a tad oversensitive, or perhaps just processing things through your mind rather than giving yourself the space to actually let emotions work themselves out. However, in contrast, there's a beautiful link between Venus and Uranus at the start of this month. So even if there is a tender energy providing the background, which could see you more reflective and wanting some more time for yourself, or thinking very carefully about what you really want from life, I think someone could surprise you with an invitation or be very enthusiastic and really have such a dazzling, enlightening and uplifting personality that even if you are feeling a little more inward, they can draw you out of your shell, and that actually can be very therapeutic. From the 4th through to the 10th, there is a link between the Sun and Mercury and Pluto, the planet of transformation. I think some Leo people can be changing something about those foundations in their world. Now, of course, the obvious way is to actually be moving physically, but we can move inside ourselves too. We can evolve. And when the Sun and Pluto are in a trine, evolution is entirely possible. Your circumstances physically may well change, but it's more about what's going on inside you that's really, really important. But with Mercury linking with Pluto, this is an entirely positive angle, and it's going to give you a penetrative insight into your deepest needs, and also the practical way that you can change things to give yourself the platform to create the greatest comfort and serenity in your home situation. But there is a big quarter moon which occurs on the 7th. This provides a backdrop for the following 7 days. And for you, it's about relationships and how they impact on how you feel in terms of your emotions. It's possible that someone close to you is going to be a little bit out of sorts. They may need quite a lot of support or nurturing from you, or perhaps you're yearning for these qualities from someone that you're involved with. If there's an absence of this kind of nurturing, you may feel a sort of loss. Now, Mars is going to be moving on the 9th in an entirely positive way for you, because it goes into your opposite sign. Whatever you're dealing with, this is going to give you a greater combativeness. You're going to want to take on the world more. And though you may have been feeling just a little fragile at the turn of the month and in the first week of November, this is really seeing you wanting to engage more. It can see you feistier, but it can also see you, if you're single, much more minded to get out and interact with others and to just enjoy the fast-moving world of work and even sports, which could see you challenging yourself or challenging others. But there is also the move of Venus on the 12th. Venus is the planet of relating, and it moves from the most glamorous part of your scope, where it forged a fab angle, as I said before, at the start of this month, which led to those surprise exchanges. Venus then gets a bit more practical. It's asking you to think about how you can do things in simple but effective ways to please the people you're closest to. But I think it's Mercury's move on the 13th which can be so helpful for you. It's going to take you out of a very inward phase, and it's going to transform you and make you feel much more uplifted, much more outgoing, playful, and the natural charisma that you possess is really going to start to sparkle. However, there is a full moon which occurs on the 14th, which is in the sign of Taurus. If there is any emotional issues washing around your situation, it's going to be much harder to disguise them from other people. Many Leos are deeply private about very personal matters. A lot of this is to do with protecting your pride, not in a negative way. You will have vulnerabilities like everyone else. But you do more easily feel judged by other people. And even if some people don't like you, which you can deal with, contrary to popular opinion, it's more that you need to be respected. But there may be something that you do need to grapple with in the following 2 weeks. And even if it is seeing you being a little more exposed, then so be it. You may just have to go for this. The Sun's move on the 22nd into Sagittarius, however, sees it catch up with Mercury, and this is really going to see you feeling much more energized, much more outgoing, and I feel really on the front foot with the Sun, Mercury and Mars all in very positive locations. You can really start to feel that the month is gaining traction for you. However, there is a very complex link between Venus and Pluto between the 22nd and the 27th. If anyone asks you for any kind of favour or asks you to do something as a kind of helpful act, think very carefully. Over the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a greater and greater feeling emerging within you of resentment, really, if people have taken you for granted and always thought that you were the person who was going to be picking up all the pieces, or they could go off and do what they wanted to do. So it could be a little bit of a reminder, an echo of that, this particular influence, but someone could lay on the guilt with an absolute trowel. So just be aware of that, but equally be aware of your own motivations. In the 6th house, this could be about a job. Someone may offer you a promise to have nothing but advantages, but proceed with caution. There could be some hidden catches. There is a new moon in the most positive part of your scope on the 29th, which ordinarily would enable you to really demonstrate what makes you unique, very likeable. The natural warmth of your nature would ordinarily radiate forwards. But this is very complex because it's angling to Neptune, and Neptune can drain. So when it comes to your romantic situation, it could be a little bit of confusion or uncertainty as this month draws to a close, especially with that conjunction between Venus and Pluto. So you need to make your moves very carefully, but your personality is definitely going to shine through as November comes to a close. And if there are any seasonal functions to attend, you could be taking centre stage. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.